from this year and reflect back over that a little bit, because what are we talking about this year? We were talking about theme of this year was our environment, where you live, air you breathe, type of weather conditions. Is there pollution? What school do you go to? Family life, that's all your environment. And we studied the environment this year. And we talked about you and what your favorite things in your bedroom. We made a map of the bedroom, or made a map of your house, because that's your environment. And we talked about you and your history, because we learned about history. And we talked about your specific history leading all the way back to when you were born. I think we've made a timeline. So we'll review some of that. Well, now, because you're leaving me, teardrop, and it's our last week together, we want to talk about your future. We want to talk about how you can be anything you want to be. Now, can you be an eagle? No, not yet. I don't think they've done that scientifically. They might be able to at some point. But can you be a chair? No. So when people say you can be anything you want to be, they're basically saying set your mind to something, have goals, and don't ever let anybody tell you that you can't achieve your dreams. Now, I like to keep it in reality. If you are, if you are a 98-pound person and you just don't weigh that much and your body type's 98 pounds, you're probably not going to make it as a sumo wrestler in Japan. But you could do it as a hobby. Maybe you could study it. Maybe you could be an expert in sumo. So same with basketball. Not everybody's, very small percent that can play a pro basketball. If you have the natural ability and the right physical body to play pro basketball in the NBA, then there's nothing stopping you but hard work. You can do it. So some of you have those natural abilities. And some people, they don't quite have it as much as somebody else. So like LeBron, he's cut out for it and he has to work hard. Somebody else is going to have to work a little bit harder because they don't have his physical body. But the reality is there's a lot of people that just are probably not going to play professional basketball in the NBA. But that does not mean, or the WNBA, that does not mean they can't become a basketball coach. They can't work hard and be the best basketball player. And then therefore, once they make it through the college level, because almost anybody with hard work could play college level basketball. Almost anybody for sure with hard work can play on their best basketball on the high school team. So there's high levels of achievement. But as we set goals for life, you also do want to understand the ones that are within your reach. So for example, if you're just by high school, you're going to know, I might not have what it takes just physically to make it at a pro level. Well, then you don't want to not do well in school and not do well in other areas because you think you're going to be a pro basketball player. Well, if it doesn't make sense, it's like me saying, I'm going to be a professional artist. Well, I might like to draw, but if I don't have what it in to draw that kind of painting, I'm not going to be a professional artist. So I need to have other skills and make art my hobby and make it fun. So we're going to look at some of that stuff. But I'm just showing the extreme examples. For most things, you can do whatever you want to do with hard work. Whoever works the hardest gets the most. And you train and you work smart and you find skills. So this week, what we're going to do is we're going to just talk about daily. We're going to watch videos. We'll talk a little bit Zoom. I encourage you to open the slideshow and share that slideshow with yourself so that you can keep it forever. Because this week is some stuff where you might write down a goal or a dream. Maybe you want to live someplace cold. I don't, but maybe you do. Maybe you want to one day have a Ferrari or some kind of special car. Maybe you want to have your own house on the beach. Maybe you love living with family. Maybe you want to work with animals. Maybe you just anything that you think you like to do. We want to put those things on paper, in this case, a slideshow, or you could draw a map. They call them dream walls. They're motivation things that you think you want to do in life. And what happens when the days are tough and you don't want to do your math homework, you look at the poster or you go back to your slideshow and go, I know that if I want to go to college, I need to pass math. I know if I want to pass math, I have to do tonight's homework. And so I do tonight's homework, not because I want to do tonight's homework. I do tonight's homework because it's going to help me get that Ferrari. It's going to help me get in that dream house. And then we're going to do some strategies this week on staying positive and staying motivated. It's not always easy. Sometimes you wake up tired. Everybody's different. We'll talk some psychology. We can do none of these great things if we get hooked on drugs, hooked on alcohol, or are negative all the time, or have violent tendencies, or stay in states of depression. None of these things are going to get done. So we're going to do some psychology this week on how to say no to drugs. And so one of the programs is audio. It's fun. They're short, 5-7 minutes, called Take 5 to Stay Alive, starring Rip and Tide, superhero surfers. If you were here in class, I actually give you a book like this. If you were here, I might deliver a couple of these to some of the kids that are in class. They're pretty fun. I think I will. I'll see if I can find you guys if you're here today. And I'll deliver you a couple of these. And so you can read along, Take 5 to Stay Alive, really fun. The audio has some of the words, but really it's more just to listen. And this is just a fun program I wrote, I created, I sold. Every middle school in the district used it. It's a comic book, super fun when you're live because you can color and stuff. But it's still fun to listen to it on the YouTube. So we're going to listen to one of these. And then we're going to listen to a video on peer pressure. Because one thing, a lot of times you talk about peer pressure, they talk about drugs and tobacco, but really what it is resiliency. You're strengthening yourself that you do not let the world or your parents or a brother or sister or I don't want to say stupid, but if a bully is being mean, they're kind of stupid, or some kid at school that's saying something mean to you, because everybody's going to say something mean to you at some point. Doesn't matter. It has nothing to do with you. It has to do with them. They're mean. They're mean. I don't want to say stupid, but they are. And so if they say something mean to you about the way you look or anything else, if you're resilient and developing strategies against peer pressure will do this, you can stay strong and say, I don't need them. Because bottom line, in the grand scheme, you want to be independent, where you get help from others and you care for others and you're in others' lives, but you always have this strength that's like, I'm going to be okay, even if I'm the last one that believes in my dream. So anyway, we're doing a lot of that stuff. This is like the introduction to the week. So it's going to be fun, very important week. I'm doing a lot of grading, things like that. So a lot of video based, but we'll have these conversations in Zoom. Let's do this. Let's get started. Open the slideshow. If you want, you can take the concepts I created, copy them, and search. But they're more like ideas. So it's not so much like searching the internet. You'll see if it says favorite food, you don't need to, you go find pictures of food. And remember, you do not have to do this slideshow this week. All right, let's go. Kick it off. Take 5 to Stay Alive, episode number 1. Let's do this.